You know, it's starting to get really, really hard to support Sony when they just keep censoring JRPG and anime type games. Like, enough is enough. Now, for as long as I know, since the PlayStation 2, I have always gamed on the PlayStation consoles when it came to JRPGs, because they had some of the best JRPGs and they were the prime place to go for JRPGs. Now, over the course of the years, somewhere down the line, Sony has changed ever since 2018, where they've been forcing people to censor their games and developers to censor their games, and it's just getting overly ubiquitous. I don't even know if I said that word correctly, but it is getting ridiculous because nowadays companies have to delay certain games to cater to PlayStation. And I feels like eventually Sony is going to lose out on those third-party companies from not wanting to support them because they have to continue to censor the games. It's the whole reason why the director of Senran Kagura left the studio, because Sony kept censoring his game, and it's getting ridiculous. What's the point of the ESRB if the games are still going to continue to get censored? Stellar Blade, a beautiful, amazing masterpiece, got brought down because of the censoring when it's a mature game. It's a mature game. Sony, what are you doing? What is happening? Where Nintendo Switch is okay with having maturity games, and I mean, of course, PC always has it, but it just doesn't make any sense. Like, the only reason why I normally game on the PlayStation is because I do like the PlayStation consoles. I love the PS2 ever since then, PS3, and moved on to each console, and it just was the prime place to play my JRPGs, especially because I love trophy hunting at the same time. It gives me that little dopamine when the trophy noise goes off, and it makes me feel good. But it's hard to support that when the games I love and the games I want to play continues to be censored and not on other consoles. And that's happened recently with Princess Maker 2 Regeneration, where the PS5 and PS4 has been delayed to August 8th instead of coming out July 11th with all the others, because it had to be delayed because Sony wanted the game to be censored. I feels like at this point, if I was the developers, I'm like, well, you're just not getting the game, you know? Because why do we have to cater to you when other companies gets a bypass? And you know what I'm talking about, you know? It's just kind of ridiculous. Now, I understand some things that got censored, like the boot bust. Like, come on, like that's a staple for JRPGs and for just anime type games. But then I get that, you know, the incest is a little weird for most people, but if you're in the anime space or on the internet in general, you know that stepbrother and stepsister and all that has been part of anime culture for years. It's nothing different. It's been there since forever. And I just can't understand what's the point of the ESRB if you're gonna censor the games anyway. Like, kids are not going to be playing this game anyway, so who are you protecting? Us? And even if that is the thing, it should be an option, a thing that someone can turn off when they want to, or turn back on if they want to. If that was the case, then it wouldn't be that big of an issue. But to literally have to re-edit a whole game in production and add extra cost to a developer who already are probably on a time crunch is ridiculous. I just don't understand. What is the deal with Sony right now? I really don't. And it happened again with the new Type Moon franchise, Tsukihime, A Piece of Glass Moon, where the game had to be delayed because the physical edition had to be revised for the PS4. A physical book. This is not like a digital code or digital piece of art in the game that you can re-edit. These are physical books that's been laid out, probably mass production, and they want to re-edit every single book for the PS4 again. If I was Type Moon, I'd be like, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. You're just not getting the game. PlayStation fans just don't get the game because you are being ridiculous. Again, ESRB. I think that's just like the word of the day. Why is it a thing if games are going to be censored? If it's a teen or M-rated game, then kids are not going to be buying anyway. But either way, if kids do buy it, then, you know, parents got to do their job. They'll be like, hey, you're not supposed to be playing this game. Most anime games aren't for kids. You got your Dragon Ball, you got your Naruto, you got your JJK, but the Type Moons is for the adults. You know, it's just a simple thing. And it's just ridiculous over time and time and time again that we have to keep catering to this. And if this keeps going on, I might not just be a PlayStation game buying person. Like, I buy other games for the consoles when it comes to like Mario games and other games on digital for PC, depending on what it is, like Power World. But if this continues on, I may have to switch from buying JRPGs for PlayStation and for Nintendo Switch, especially with Nintendo Switch 2 coming around. And if it's rumored to be just as powerful as the PS4, then games that were working on the Switch will work even better on the Switch 2. So I like it looks like from the future on, I might be switching and jumping ship to a whole nother land if Sony just continues to do this, because it ruins the trust of their fan base. One, and then it ruins the trust of the developers, and then also it adds on extra work to the developers who just want to make games and cater to people who enjoys a little bit of fan service. ESRB doesn't that exist? And it just keeps getting ridiculous. So the Type Moon game for the PS4 had to be delayed. The Switch version is going to be coming out just as planned, but the PS4 game had to be delayed because of the limited edition. And they had to post it on Twitter to let everyone know this is the reason. And that is just ridiculous. And I get why companies still cater to PlayStation, because PlayStation does have a good market pool and people are going to still buy it, and that's a good revenue for it. But it's just ridiculous that Sony has these policies for Japanese games and anime games and JRPGs. It just, what happened? What happened to PlayStation? What happened to Sony? It is somewhere in the 2017, in the 2018s, something shifted where now Nintendo is allowing mature and more suggestive games, and Sony isn't. It's so bad my voice is losing. I just don't understand what type of timeline we're in right now. What is happening? What is happening? Nintendo is the same company that censored the blood of Mortal Kombat back on the NES days and stuff. This is the same company that just didn't care for any type of nudity, but then I guess when Bayonetta came and they realized that this is a market, they were like, sure, like, bring it on, come on in. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to turn this into a rant video, but it kind of started out this way. It was supposed to be kind of an educated video, but like, it just, the moment I started thinking about it more, it just, I don't know, man. Let me know how you guys feel. Not saying I'm gonna stop supporting certain games. Like, I gotta play my Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 when that comes out. Stellar Blade 2 is a PlayStation 5 exclusive. I gotta play that. But it is starting to get really, 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 really hard to support Sony when they just keep censoring the games, and I just had enough. I've had enough of it, and I can't just go full PC as much as I would love to, because I still love my physical editions and collector's editions. And maybe if more companies start supporting physical editions or limited editions for PC, then maybe I would, because I still like to have stuff on my shelves to show and have a nice collection of stuff. But maybe the future of an all digital future is looking very prime, or a Switch 2, you know, whatever. But that's the news, that's the rant. I'm not gonna edit anything out because I don't care. This video is kind of just all over the place at this point, and I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of it. I just want my games intact. I want the games to be the way they're meant to be, and Sony, just let the ESRB take care of it. That's it. That's all you need to do. And let parents relegate if it's appropriate for their kids or not. That's it. All right, goodbye. Goodbye.
Seem like the life I feel. Seem like the life I feel is a little distant, yeah. Seems like the life I need. Seems like the life I need is a little distant, yeah. Like the river deep, yeah. Seems like my life.